Hello, traders. It is Sunday, October 13th, about noon. Let's take a look at some of our recent picks. Let's do some market analysis and let's find some new picks. That's how all of these videos work. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's going to help me reach more and more traders. We had a couple of really nice picks. So let's get to it. DDOG. That was my pick from a week ago, which was Sunday. And here you can see this breakout above the 200-day moving average, this black line right here. As I'd mentioned in the video, we didn't know what the market was going to do Monday morning when it opened up. I would be looking to buy pullbacks or to sell an out of the money bullish put spread. At that time, I believe I suggested selling the 108, 103 bullish put spread for a credit of $1. That was November 1st expiration. I know that that price was available. So in any event, this was a really nice trade. And you can see how after that little bid check on Monday, whoosh, the stock took off. Going to the 15-minute chart, zoom out a little bit, you can see all the price action that's taken place during the course of the last week. And you can see lots of great buy signals on an M15 basis. Would be the same if I went into M5. Okay, well, you said that, so let's go in and take a look at some of those M5 entries as well. These trade signals are phenomenal, okay? So it's not something that you're going to come in and blindly just buy every buy signal and sell every sell signal. You don't have to do that. But the buy and sell signals are very dynamic. So unlike most other indicators which oscillate back and forth within a defined parameter, these are much different. When it gets on a buy signal, it is going to ride that buy signal for a very long time. Look, you didn't even have an exit here when it hit VWAP. So almost every kind of indicator is going to tell you to exit the trade right here. No, we get an exit all the way up here. So it rides these moves for a very long time. And when it needs to be sensitive, it is. Like right here, you get into a sell signal, not shaping up, exit. That's what you want to do, is you want to keep your losers small. You want to keep your winners big. The trade signals do that. But the beauty of them is to use them for alerts. Okay, so if we have a stock that we really, really like, we really like this stock, we want to buy this stock, but we'd like to enter better, then we're going to start setting those alerts so that when the stock is currently on a buy signal, we want it to go to an exit, and then we want it to flip back to a buy signal. We have those alerts. If in the meantime there was a sell signal, okay, that tells me that the stock probably pulled back quite a bit to generate that sell signal, and now we've got that buy signal. The point of this exercise is to evaluate that contra move, because our goal is always to get on the long side of that trade once we have that super strong stock. Put it another way, how many times have you bought a breakout and 20 minutes or half an hour later thought, geez, my timing could have been a lot better on that. I bought the high, and look at this stock. Now it's pulling back. I wish I would have been more patient. I wish I would have waited for it. So these dips are going to be evaluated when we get the alert on that trade signal. You don't have to take action, but you can evaluate what the nature of that move was. How many of you have 10 or 15 charts up on your screen? You can't possibly monitor all of those charts visually and capture everything that's going on. Also, instead of having 15 charts up, how about if you set alerts on 100 stocks? That would be much more fruitful, much more powerful. You don't have to sit and hawk those stocks and those charts. You wait for the alerts to pop up. Then you evaluate the dip, and you decide if this is a good entry point for you. That's how it works, and that's the power of it, is once you set these alerts, you can forget it until you get that next alert. So instead of sitting on a chart and dedicating a chart and eating up all your real estate on a stock where the dip proves to be sustained and it was never the real deal, you just eaten up a chunk of your real estate on your monitors and it wasn't even worth considering, wasn't even worth wasting your time watching. It never set up. So please use these alerts and use these trade signals. They are incredibly good. Okay, it's not the Holy Grail, but when you start going through these alerts that you've set and they start firing, you're going to find great entry points to very strong stocks that you've previously identified. That's how I found D-Dog. ARM was a recent example. APP was a recent example. On and on and on. I've got a couple others that I'm going to show you. So I keep getting these alerts and it's like, hey, that's a reminder. This is a really good stock and this is a really nice entry point. DDOG, excellent pick. I still like it. I think the stock is getting up to resistance level right here. So you've got to be careful. You have this high minus trend line coming into play. After a really nice run, it could get a little bit tired here. It could find some resistance. So if you're long, be ready to take profits if the stock can't get through these resistance levels on a market rally. Because on a market rally, we would expect the stock to be able to blow through any obstacle that's set before it. If it can't, take some profits. You've got really nice gains in the trade. SNOW. I showed you this one during my Wednesday live event. I really like this breakout. And let's zoom in. I gave you this pick because I wanted to demonstrate how there are times when you can buy stocks off of a low. However, we are not catching falling knives. Okay, a base has to be formed over a period of months if the stock is in a downtrend. But once it's able to establish that support, once all the major moving averages are coming down to the stock, you can feel pretty comfortable that there's good support. I had put up the SPY overlay so that you can see what I was looking at. And the tell was this little dip. The gray line is the SPY. That dip was the tell for me. Market sells off, stock sells off. Market sells off, stock finding support at this horizontal level because buyers are lining up. If this stock still had more sellers on a market drop like that, bam, would have taken out that support level without even thinking about it twice. Didn't do that. Buyers were interested. Then as soon as the market starts to find some support, the stock takes off. So the live event took place on Wednesday. I'm going to take off my SPY overlay. And the live event was somewhere in here. So we had this really nice run on excellent volume. Also, a critically important part of that puzzle piece. Okay, so not only is the stock finding support, it's rallying off of that support on very big volume. So if you entered SNOW here, you're a happy camper because it was up probably close to $10. Yep, $9 during the course of the last 2 days. That's how we do it. I did also give you another trade. It was Oracle, and Harry's power cut out on him. So I kind of came up with a second pick that I liked. And you can see this is where the live event was. This is where Oracle closed Friday. So it's down a little bit. But this stock moves slowly, very slowly. It's a thick stock. Lots of institutional interest. So it very rarely makes big moves. So it's one that you've got to be patient with. And it is a nice breakout on a D1 basis. There's your flagpole. There's your pullback. This looks like a bullish flag breakout to me. But as you start making new highs, you have to work off any selling pressure that might be there. And it takes a while to work off that selling pressure, those profit takers. And once that happens, the stock will start to get some follow through. You can see how the stock is fairly choppy. So let's take a look at what the market's currently doing. A week ago, Sunday, I didn't know how the market was going to open, and I'd mentioned to you, I feel that this week the market is going to make a new all-time high. It did. Actually, it did that twice. Made two all-time highs. And the theme in that video a week ago, the theme for the last few weeks has been buy dips. Buy dips, buy dips. Don't chase, okay? Don't chase breakouts, buy dips. Why? Because the market hadn't broken out. The market was very sluggish, and you can see on the D1 chart that this move higher, so this is the FOMC breakout. After the FOMC on Wednesday, this was the initial reaction, actually a bearish hammer off of a relative high. Not a great reaction to the FOMC statement, but given a night to think about it, everybody saw this as a fantastic opportunity to enter. So the SPY gapped up, and then it compressed for quite a while. We had profit taking, we had some buying, we had profit taking, but it was able to hold this previous breakout, and that was a bullish sign. We also had a really good round of economic data points, ISM services, the unemployment report. I mentioned all of that a week ago Sunday. What I also mentioned was that there really weren't any big drivers this week in the market, but that earnings season was coming up, and that typically the market has a good bid heading into earnings season. Banks announced on Friday, and JP Morgan and Wells Fargo both finished the day higher. When financials are rallying, that is a good sign for the overall market. You don't want to have any credit issues or credit concerns, and there certainly weren't, and we weren't expecting any because there's been very decent employment right now. So banks are going to dominate the scene this week. There are a handful of other companies that announce. Netflix was one. Netflix I kind of put on an island of its own. It's a very unique company. The one that I think is more meaningful is TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. That stock has the potential to drive the entire semiconductor group. So watch for those earnings very closely. I'm expecting good news. TSM had already been announcing last quarter and throughout this prior quarter that they kept raising revenue guidance. They kept saying our revenues are like off the charts good. So I would expect TSM to put together a good earnings report. I think that's going to give tech stocks a solid base. This should be a pretty decent week. And you can see how Monday we tested AVWAP-Q, the green line. And then Tuesday we bounced, we recovered from it. And then Wednesday we made a new all-time high. Friday we made a new all-time high. This is the type of price action that I'm expecting, by the way. We've got the FOMC coming up in about 3 weeks. We have the election coming up in about 3 weeks. So the way that that sets up is we've got the election on Tuesday, and then we have the FOMC decision, I believe on Thursday this time. Usually it comes out on Wednesday, but according to the Fed's calendar, the first day of the meeting is Wednesday, and that's probably delayed by a day because of the elections. And then Thursday, that FOMC statement comes out. So all of that news is compressed within a very tight window. That is going to be a very, very critical moment. So until then, we've got earnings releases coming out. We don't have a lot of economic data coming out this week. I think retail sales might be released this week, but there's not much else. Philly Fed maybe. I looked at the calendar. When I looked at it, I didn't see anything that told me that, yes, there are some possible speed bumps in here or there are some possible drivers. My conclusion after looking at it was, yeah, earnings are really going to drive the market this week, and the previous momentum is going to drive the market. And so you can see that this move higher has been very tenuous. What does that tell us? Don't chase. Okay? This is not the type of price movement that you're getting off of a deep drop where you get long green candle, long green candle, long green candle, long green candle. No, this is every single move is retested. So you make a new high, you test it. You make a new high, you test it. And so it's very choppy price action. Your best strategy in this environment is to buy dips. So plan on continuing to do that. When you get a really nice lift off in the market or a sequence of strong days, if you're short-term swing trading and you're holding overnights, take those early profits if you get a gap up. That move is going to be tested. Gap up, take profits on overnight swings. Look to reload on a dip. Wait for that support, do it again. So as long as you're staying within that game plan, you're doing really well. And I've seen a lot of members posting that they are really having a nice month. So that's the strategy. That's the tactic. We've got to break out to a new high. We're expecting a choppy, light volume float higher, and there aren't a lot of catalysts right now in the market. So let's take a look at some searches. I'm going to go right to Green Royal Flush, one of my favorites. Okay, got buy signals across multiple time frames, and I'm going to go right through the top of the chart here. MSTR has been on a list for a long time. This is a really nice breakout, horizontal breakout to a new high. This is a nice, powerful move. I like it. I'm going to continue to go through and look at others. Goldman Sachs, we got banks reporting, so I'm not real interested in buying financials right now with all the news coming out on them. Coin, another crypto stock. MSTR is a crypto stock. If I had to choose, I'm going to choose MSTR. If you look at Coin, C-O-I-N, you've got this wedge formation right now. So consider the upper end of the wedge, these major moving averages, the 100 and the 200 day, and the lower end of the wedge is this upward sloping trend line. The stock is going nowhere right now. Okay, so if you're all hot and bothered to buy Coin, forget about it. It's not there. This is one that you want to set some alerts on. So you can right click, set the alert above the 100-day moving average. If it breaks out, good. Now I've got something to look at. You can set your alerts. You can draw this trend line and set an alert line. Hey, if the stock breaks down below this upward sloping trend line with conviction, nice long red candle, heavy volume, hey, then I've got something to look at. That is the beauty of using alerts and not dedicating a chart on your screen that you can't monitor visually anyway. All that does is it distracts you, okay? Am I supposed to be looking at this chart or this one or that one? And they're all so little tiny, I can't even see them, but that one looks good. What is that? Set alerts. Let technology do the work for you, okay? I've really been harping on this point because it's critically important that you use these and stop looking at hundreds of different charts. Focus on finding new opportunities. Focus on finding new stocks that have really, really good strength on a D1 and an H1 basis. And that's where you want to set your alerts. And then just keep looking for those and keep looking for them and looking for them. Every day you're going to see a new stock that hits your radar that wasn't there before. Great. Maybe it has follow through. Maybe that breakout is false. Maybe the stock just retreats. So as I continue to go down the list, I looked at Uber, and I like this breakout in Uber. Okay, so you can see how the stock is through this horizontal resistance level right here. It's through this high plus trend line. Really nice volume on Friday. It got through this horizontal resistance right here. All great stuff. It's got a little bit of resistance on this trend line, but the stock put in a very powerful day. You can see how it closed near the high of the day, and look at the volume. Oh yeah, this is going to be a good one to buy. Right click, create alert, select trade signal. It's already on a buy signal. I don't care that it's already on a buy signal. M5 plus, save, done. I am not going to look at UPST again. Excuse me, Uber. Spoiler alert, UPST is the stock that I'm going to be highlighting. In any event, when this stock pulls back and I get an exit alert and then a buy, I'm going to get my alert and I'm going to evaluate the magnitude of this dip. I'd like it to be brief and shallow. I'd like the majority of this long green candle to be preserved. I'd like the halfway point of that candle to be preserved. If that happens, then this horizontal was resistance, now support line is going to be tested and it will have survived the test. And I will have an opportunity to buy Uber at a much better price. If Uber rolls over and plays dead, what do I care? I've got an alert set on it. I'm not going to get a buy alert maybe all the way down in here, and then I'm going to be going, you know what? I don't like it so much because now it's given up all that long green candle and it's come in and filled the gap. Well, it doesn't look so bullish to me anymore. And the reason I'm not highlighting it is because of news. And the news and the reason that Uber shot higher was because Tesla came out and said that their robo-taxi is a little bit behind schedule, and that's one of the biggest competitors to the Uber model. And if I go into news, I can just look at the top. Yeah, okay, Uber's going to remain the primary autonomous vehicle distribution partner, blah, blah, blah. So yes, it was related to Tesla's hype and their under delivery. And so why would that be bad? Pete, why wouldn't you, why is that a negative? I'd rather have a stock be a positive, like, oh, Uber's just come up with this new software that's going to make their autonomous driving 10 times better than anybody else has. Okay, I would much rather be buying into that news versus, no, the stock is up because one of their future competitors is delaying the rollout of its product. Okay, so Uber could still be an excellent pick. Just if you've got a big breakout on massive volume, I suggest that you read the headline, find out what's driving the stock. Is this material news? Is this something that is going to impact the company for a long time? If yes, then that move is legitimate. If it's simply a brokerage upgrade, maybe the stock sold off really hard and it's just getting a nice short covering bounce, you don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. That's not the kind of sustained momentum that you're going to get for the stock. It needs material news. So we'll keep going down the list. AXP is a financial, so to a large degree will be dependent on what the banks are going to be doing this week. I think the results will be good. Next on the list, CRW. Okay, really, really nice chart. I would highlight this one in a heartbeat, but I've already been highlighting it for like the last 2-3 weeks. I loved it right here on that long green candle right there. Actually, I loved it here. And this was the breakout where I highlighted it. Then we got this big move and I'm like, yeah, okay, you want to be taking gains in here because you're bumping up against the 200-day moving average. But if it can't get through the 200-day moving average, I still want to set an alert on it because now if it backs off, I'll have enough room to buy it here and we'll still be making higher lows. So I'm good owning it in here. And then I got the alert and it bounced off of AVWAP-E, which was great, and now it had plenty of distance to get back to the 200-day moving average, so it was a good buy in here again. I highlighted it during one of my videos. Please go back, watch the videos, confirm that what I'm telling you is true. So, once we started to rally up, I'm like, okay, well now we've got to get through these moving averages, and it is the 100-day and 200-day moving average converge at this price point. We have nice follow through, series of higher lows. We're through this horizontal resistance level right here, and the stock has a little bit of room to fill in this gap here. I love it. I think this stock's going to continue to go higher, and it had good M5 volume. And now you can see there's the volume on Thursday, there's the volume on Friday, all above average. I like CRWD. Only reason I'm not highlighting it is because I've shown you this stock for the last 3 weeks. I want to introduce something new, something different. AFRM, that's a really tight, powerful move on very big volume, going to D1. That is attempting to get through this horizontal resistance level. We've got a longer term downward sloping trend line it's got to get through. Heck yeah, this looks like a stock that is ready to make that breakout. So I do like it. What am I going to do with this? Click GTC, click on the high of that candle right there. Whoops, looks like I targeted the wrong one. So I'm going to try that again, and I might have to zoom in so that I can pick the right one. I'm going to have to zoom in on this. So that is the candle I want to target. That is the high that I want to target right there. And because I was very zoomed in, I wasn't able to do it. It looks like it's already was breached just barely in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the price point. And this is okay because this is a good exercise. So that high was 48.40. You can see it in the little pop-up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click. I'm going to create alert. 48.40. So let's say $49. That would give me a nice little breakout. And this time I'm just going to use a price alert. So when the stock is greater than $49, give me that alert. Done. Many different ways that you can set alerts. I personally tend to use the trade signals a lot. I also use the horizontal and diagonal alert lines that can be drawn connecting highs. So oftentimes if I've got a nice big rally in a stock like this and it backs off, I'm going to pick that high point because I want to know when it's getting through that high point. If I've got a stock that is running away, let's use SPY maybe as an example. So it's running away. I really don't want to chase it in here. But what I can do is I can set a little upward sloping trend line here that's going to continue to follow up away from the current price. So it'll continue to move up. I can also just choose a horizontal support area, click, click. Takes seconds, 1 second to set that type of alert. So we were at AFRM. TSM, I'd mentioned to you, watch for that earnings, 10/17, so I think that's Thursday. So that will be an important news release, and it could drive the entire tech sector. VRT, grinder, very nice. Zoom out. And you can see it's through this horizontal resistance level now. I like VRT. VRT is one where you don't have to chase the stock. It doesn't move very quickly. Go in, trade alert. Everything that I'm doing right now is going to help me when I'm looking at stocks Monday. That alert was set in about 3 seconds. UPST. This is the stock that I like. This is going to be my featured long of the day. And you can see if we zoom out that the stock was able to get through this downward sloping trend line. This is a significant trend line. That is a nice breach. We've got this horizontal resistance point as well. We've got another trend line that kind of comes right in here. So this is a critical point. I like this breakout. You can see the volume's pretty decent. It's picking up relative strength. Let's zoom in a little bit. And nice long green candle on heavy volume Friday. M5 chart. Oh yeah, that's really nice. Look at that relative strength. Take a look at the 5-minute chart on the market. Market had a pullback. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So UPST, really nice, powerful move. Even when the market was pulling back, this stock was chugging higher. Compression, breakout, gone. Big volume. UPST is your pick. And by the way, I do practice what I preach. And if we go back to Tuesday's chat room posts, you will see This is 9:50, so about an hour and a half after the open. UPST, I got a buy signal alert. The stock has been trying to get through a resistance level and through the high from Monday. It barely pulled back yesterday. Set an alert line at the high from yesterday. If it can get through that, it's of interest. Okay, so I got the alert, just like I've been telling you in the video so far. I got the initial alert. I looked at the market. Market wasn't doing a whole lot. Stock still was fairly choppy. I wasn't seeing the type of price action that I wanted that told me that, yes, this is the good entry point. So I set another alert. Okay, so continue on, set alert, strong stock, blah, blah, blah. UPST, the alert line has been breached. It's decision time. The decision is, do I set another alert or do I take the trade? When I looked at it, I'm like, nah, I could set another alert. And again, this is on Tuesday. So we're going to take a look at what happened after that, because I think that's a good lesson for you. And so, yes, that was at 10 o'clock or so. And then we had a member who came right in after that and said, okay, hey, yeah, I'm in. There it is. Long UPST. Pete likes it. I like it. Well, he did his own analysis, but it's kind of funny because as soon as he posted that, and I had posted my comments at 10 o'clock, here I am at 10:03 going, geez, I didn't get a chance to write my comment. It's just about to post that there is no reason to chase UPST. Stock is choppy M5. The market's not that strong D1. So yes, I hope you just took a starter long and then you would add on confirmation. So with that in mind, let's go back and take a look at UPST. In my mind, I know I want to buy UPST. It looks really good. I just want the market to line up for me, and I want the stock to give me some proof that it's ready, okay? So I'm looking for those clues, and we'll zoom out on the M5. And so this is the price action that you saw. So if you just set buy alerts, there's a buy alert, the stock's really choppy, I'm not seeing a lot of great volume in it, the market's not doing anything. Oh, here's another buy alert, I'm still not seeing anything. But how about if I set an alert at the high of the day? I can set another alert for a M5 buy alert. I can use a horizontal resistance level like the high of the day. Those would both be good things to do. And so I'm not seeing anything really compelling from the market or from the stock. So as I continue to do that, and I've got these horizontal alert lines, it's like, okay, you know what? Right in here, I had a buy signal, and right here, I've got this stock popping up, and now it's able to get through horizontal resistance. That's a nice alert, and I like that pop on volume. Okay, might be time to take a position in it because it's starting to get cooking. There's a buy alert on an M5 basis on Thursday, and you can see the price action on Friday. This was an excellent entry point. I could have used M15 for my trade signals as well. Okay, so not only do I have an M5 alert in here, I've also got an M15 alert. Okay, so now I can reset it and say, hey, tell me when there's another M15 buy alert in here. Well, it goes on an exit. It was on a buy in here. It goes on an exit. Now it goes on a buy. Okay, cool. I'm really liking this because we're starting to see some support in here. Stock was able to move higher and get through a resistance level. This might not be a bad entry point, or this level right here, which is horizontal resistance, could be a nice price point to enter. And then lo and behold, on Friday, you get that move and you get that rally. So what do I do now? Now I have a starter position on. I've got a market that looks pretty dang good. Buy dips. So if I'm looking to add to the position, All right, I'll be honest with you. Once I have a position on, the stock is on my radar and I can monitor my P&L from what the position has done since I put the starter on. So I'm going to be more in tune with the underlying stock. It's going to be in my portfolio. I can dedicate a chart to it now, but I still want to know when I'm going to get another trade signal on an M5 basis. And so, yes, that's going to provide me with a nice entry point. And I would like less than half of this move from Friday reversed, okay? So I want to preserve the majority of this move. I'd love to see a wimpy, weak little pullback in here there where the stock goes into an exit on an M5 basis, and then it flips to a buy signal. And when I get that, I look at the stock and I go, oh, hey, you know what? Most of the gains were preserved. This is going to provide me with a nice area to add to my current long position. And I would do so with ease, knowing that my previous entry point is way the heck down here, and my average cost is still way below where the stock is currently. So from a mental perspective, and I know that a lot of novice traders, they have difficulty adding to positions. Well, if you are adding to losing positions, that is a bad thing to do because you are behind the 8 ball, you're bag holding, you are hoping that the stock turns around, you are hoping that what you saw previously is actually correct. When you are adding to winners, you are adding on confirmation that you were right and that the stock is doing what it was supposed to and the market is doing what it was supposed to. And because your average cost is much lower than the current price, worst case scenario, something awful happens to the company or the market, you are going to be able to set a stop at that average cost and be able to exit the trade for a scratch. That's what allows you to mentally be able to add to positions. And when you add to a winning position and it continues to move higher, now all of a sudden your profits are compounding because you don't have one leg on, you've got 2 legs on. Maybe eventually you have 3 or 4 legs on. That's when you really start to make a lot of money. So for most of you, just riding the full extent of a move is difficult because you're anxious to take profits. So the first thing that you have to get over is, okay, I've got one position on, I'm not looking to add because I'm a scaredy cat. When the stock gets to where I would normally be taking profits, don't take it all off, just take half of it off. And as long as everything still looks good, let the other half run. Then eventually you'll be able to take a starter position and let it run and exit on a timely basis. And then the final phase is, okay, now I'm actually able to add to starter positions because I've got confidence. And eventually that's where you want to get to, but it takes you a long time to get there. And you don't always have the market conditions set up for you to add either. And right now we are in kind of a hit and run mode as far as the market is concerned. So let me talk a little bit about the market because I've told you that you must buy dips and you do not chase breakouts. And so if we take a look at what happened last week, we had this nice little move higher. This was on Wednesday. This was the previous all-time high. Nice, tight, orderly price action, and we're starting to get some volume right in here. So we attack that resistance with a full head of steam. And this is telling you that there are buyers that try to whack it down, whap, 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 whap. Nope, that bid keeps refreshing and then you get this blow off. Awesome. That tells us that there's good buying pressure in the market, but the market's been choppy to this point. I don't need to chase. So if I was long in here and in here, I'm going to be looking to maybe lighten the load and take some profits up here. If I miss this move, I have to be patient. There was nothing to tell me that the market was going to be in go-go, gotta have it, never going to look back mode because there wasn't any news. There was nothing to excite asset managers to that extent. This was just a nice, technically driven rally where once we had a breakout to the new high, there were buyers that came in, retail buyers, professional traders, some institutions maybe driving it higher. And as soon as that impetus was gone, then the market started to waffle around. So if you missed that move, you had an opportunity here on that check of VWAP to start considering some longs. It's like, okay, there's a nice orderly pullback. Got one tail under body, two tails under body. Things are looking pretty good. Ooh, that was a pretty nice long green candle, and we held half of it. All right, well, I might start nibbling and getting long in here. And you would have had an opportunity with an hour and a half, 2 hours left in the day to catch some of the move that you missed earlier in the day. But there was never a reason where you had to chase. The next day, you get a pullback. All right, so this entire move from here to here was just erased overnight. Well, now we got to watch, see what's going to happen. Hey, look at that. Bullish engulfing candle off of the low. That is a good sign, all right? I don't need to plow into stocks, but I can start buying some here. Now I got a pullback with a higher low double bottom, and we're staying close to VWAP. Boom. Nice long green candle through, higher low. Okay, I bought some in here. I can add to the position here, and you get a nice move higher. If you're day trading, you don't need to take much more than that, and you're going to hit resistance at the prior day's high. So you're looking to take some gains in here. Really kind of easy stuff, okay? You got a bearish 1OP cross, and now, lo and behold, you get a fair amount of selling pressure, but we're still kind of holding this same horizontal support level right in here. So then you come in on Friday, and now we kind of get gangbusters again. And I pointed out in the chat room that this is the price action that we want on the open, okay? Not this choppy, chunky garbage, because this is strength. This is not mixed overlapping candles. No bueno. I'm not going to get this. And I shouldn't expect that. But I do get a nice little rally out of it. We're able to trade that. And it also tells me that when I start getting up here, because of this choppy, chunky, crappy price action back and forth and mixed candles, that I should not expect a breakout through that high, through that resistance level. So traders will often look at this price action here. 2 candles before, 2 candles after, and they'll make their decision here. This is the stuff here that told me we weren't going to break out here, and I shouldn't expect it. This is where I need to take profits. Okay? Different story here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, this could be a nice little breakout. All right, I want to get long in here. Look at that follow through. How did I know I was going to get follow through like that? Well, given that the bid was very strong headed into that breakout, yeah, there was a good chance I was going to see that. Okay, so now I'm looking for a shallow, brief pullback. This is lasting pretty dang long. I didn't get 1, 2, 3 candles down and a new high of the day and a new high of the day and a new high of the day. That would be super strong. No, this is kind of a choppy, chunky, test it, test it, test it. Buyers still there? Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Yeah, it looks like they're there. Okay, now we can start to raise our bid and get long again. And that's these programs are running, okay? So here you get the same thing. You get this move higher. Programs come in. Wham, wham, wham. Is there anybody home? Yes, there is. Wham, wham, wham. Anybody home? Yes, there is. But this choppy price action tells me not to expect that breakout. So we come in. Now we get this nice orderly price action on Friday. How are we going to attack the previous high? With a big, monstrous, long green candle on heavy volume. Okay, that's a good move. Okay, that's a legitimate breakout. So we get a little bit of follow through. and now the price action starts to kind of waffle around. If you're in a really good stock that's been holding its own, UPST for instance, you try and ride out this dip, okay? You get below VWAP, I really didn't want that, I wanted to hold VWAP, but as long as the stock is still holding its own, as long as its stock got heavy volume and it didn't pull back much, let's take a look at it. Well, look, the stock didn't even pull back. And I'll put that SPY overlay up because it'll help you. And you can see, there's your pullback, okay? What did the stock do? Compression above VWAP with the market pulling back. Relative strength, compression above VWAP, M5, heavy volume. OneOption members, if you are watching this video, you should create a search just like that. Okay? Show me a stock that has good relative strength. Show me a stock that has good relative volume. Show me a stock that is in a compression. Show me a stock that is above VWAP on a day like we had Friday. Because those are going to be stocks, once the market finds support in here, see you later. Okay? That's how we trade, folks, okay? So we get this pullback on Friday. If you didn't catch this move higher, you're not all hot and bothered because you know eventually you're gonna get your chance. And so the market pulls back, falls below VWAP, long green candle through VWAP. Cool. This long green candle, half of it is preserved and we're sticking near VWAP. Cool. Market D1 has been strong. Good volume this week. New high this week. Cool. I want to be favoring the long side. Great. If we can just get through the high from this long green candle, I'd feel pretty good about getting long. And so this is where you start entering, and you've got VWAP close by so you can keep your stops tight, and you've got really nice price action that you can get long on for the remainder of Friday. That's what I've got for you this week. We're going to have a fairly light week in terms of economic news. I'm not looking for any big drivers. We've got some earnings reactions coming out. If I had to boil it down, I would say retail sales might be fairly important this week. Just something to watch as far as the economic news. Philly Fed, not too worried about that. But TSM, I think TSM is going to set the tone for tech stocks. I think the reaction is going to be pretty good because TSM has been providing upward guidance and the revenues have been really strong, so that could fuel a nice little push in semiconductor stocks, and we could continue to float higher on light volume. Buy dips, buy dips, buy dips. Thanks so much for watching again. Please give this video a thumbs up. It helps me reach more people because it elevates my YouTube channel, and that's ultimately what I'm trying to do. Plus, you've had some really great picks. Have you not seen great picks consistently from me? Well, tell your other traders. Share this video with other people. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you at the live event Wednesday at noon Eastern Time. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers, and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.